Well, when you go away for 10 days and then bring them back together, how's it go out there? Is it getting rusty, or how'd it go?
Well, they're all back. All right, that's one thing. It was actually good. You know, we had a quick meeting to make sure everybody's back on Sunday, and then Monday went out and ran, did some conditioning. You could tell guys did something over spring break because they came out there, they conditioned pretty well. Today was in helmets to kind of just get the flow of practice back again. It was great. You know, the defense had a really good day, did some red zone periods, had a few turnovers in the red zone. But, you know, guys were still firing. You know, and I think they were excited to be back, you know, just to get away and kind of decompress from school, football, everything that goes on here, and then come back. You can see the excitement. Tomorrow we'll be back in full pads. We'll be getting after it. You know, there'll be a few periods in there that we're going to go hard against each other. That'll carry over into the scrimmage on Saturday as well. So, good day. I mean, it was good to have these guys back.
You like the idea of having a break between, say, the first half of spring ball and the second half?
I do. I think the way we break it up, because we go 6 practices, one being a scrimmage. We put that to bed before they leave, and you kind of have a gauge, you know, and time to think about, you know, where are we, and really positionally too. You know, what do we have to do? And so as you come back, you know, you've had 10 days to kind of think about it. You've got new drills, maybe some new idea play-wise, or ways of teaching, you know, your group. And so I think it really helps everybody, probably more so the coaches, to just kind of think about, okay, what do we have to do these next 9 practices to really get something out of this and make it even better. So I like the setup. I think it's a great break. I think if we went straight, you know, guys would get wore out. And spring is not about that. Spring's about teaching. It's about bringing guys along that are young guys that you think are going to help you this next year. It's fine-tuning your veteran players, but it's really coming out of it, you know, with a positive attitude of what happened in spring, healthy, and prepared for the summer, you know, what needs to happen now to get better for fall camp.
Is the quarterback battle where you thought it would be at this point?
Yeah, about the same. It's hard. When you got 4 guys that you're trying to rep in there, it's difficult. You know, we're going to have to cut those down a little bit, but not much, because spring is giving guys opportunities. Where they'll start to separate is in the summertime, because I still think you can get a lot done, especially at that position. And then come fall camp, you know, those first 5 or 6 practices, it's probably about the same as what it is now. And then you're really cutting that down. You're down to 3, you're down to 2, and then you're really trying to figure out that 1 and 2 combination. About 10 days before the game, you want to get your number 1 in there and just repping with the group.
I know you guys have said you're probably not going to decide on anybody until, you know, fall camp. But I mean, ideally, would you have liked to have had a guy by the end of spring ball, so you know going into the summer who the guy is? Are you okay with this thing going towards the first game? Or
yeah, if we had a 3-year returner, you know, coming back that started, that's always great. But
yeah,
you know, in this type of situation, no, because to me, you know, summertime, allowing these guys, as they have their eval with the coaches, here's what you need to do from the coaching side. All right, they have their evals with me. Here's what you need to work on overall. They've got that entire summer to do that. And these guys will be different. They'll show up and be different in fall camp. So, no, I mean, we don't need to have a guy coming out. They'll all lead in the summer. We have enough guys that are veteran guys in this team that can lead to make sure things in the summertime are going well if the quarterback's not doing that. But then come fall camp, we don't want to be in this situation. All right, we have to really separate ourselves, and somebody will do that based off summer and what they do in fall.
Just kind of casually looking at the quarterbacks out there, looked like Ryan Finley was really spinning it pretty well today. Had some good velocity on his passes. How important is the arm strength factor in determining this race, or do you think it's kind of an overrated thing?
A little bit. You know, it's about anticipation. There's a lot of really good quarterbacks that, you know, I guess people would say, quote unquote, can't make every throw, but they really can if they anticipate it. And we've had guys here that have really strong arms, guys here that have had, you know, better than average, but great anticipation. To me, it's about accuracy. You know, your anticipation, if you're not that strong and you can't fire it in there, that's okay. And it's probably more of a catchable ball. Now, if you've got a rocket, you better be accurate, because that ball is going to be on that guy so fast, and if it's not where he expects, it's very hard to catch. So, you know, either way, you know, you're kind of dealing with different factors and all that. But to me, it's really from the quarterback standpoint, you know, is this guy anticipating, you know, what's coming? And if he does that well enough, strength or not, the throw is going to be there, and that's really the key to it.
What is your kind of time frame for fall camp in terms of trying to settle it? Do you need it settled in the first couple of weeks, or what's your approach to that?
No, I mean, when it's right. I mean, that's the one thing. We want it right. We've kind of been in that 10-day window prior to the first game, where we may have made that decision prior, but that's kind of when we get to the announcement and what we decide and where we're going to go, because that's kind of where you get more into some scout work, and you start really getting into more game plan of your first opponent, and you're working on those things. So it's right around there. Now, if it happens sooner, it happens sooner. That's just kind of how it's been, when I've done it and we've been a part of this.
Who's caught your eye at running back maybe so far?
Demas, he's done a good job. He really has. I think Jack, watching him, he's gotten better. Jack's a physical guy. He's carrying the ball better. He's running harder. He and Demas, both those guys, not having Jeremy out there right now, we're hoping to get him back, and he's hopefully he can do some things, by the end of spring, some drills, maybe not live work, but he can do some drills with us. But those two guys in particular have done a good job. Corey Young's coming along. There's a lot still thrown at him. We're asking these guys to maybe do a little bit more moving around and do some different things. We're trying some stuff, but he's doing a very good job as well. So those two guys, though, have stepped up. They've played well. We'll see this Saturday when we go live. We'll cut those guys loose. We'll run the ball. It gives us a better idea where they're at.
You talk about the break allowing you to kind of gear up for the final 9 practices. Is there anything that you particularly want to see over these final 9 sessions, and how important are they to build momentum going into the summer?
Yeah, as far as momentum, huge. Either way. For those particular players, the thing about spring, you come out of it and you have a one-on-one eval with your coach. Then you have a one-on-one eval with me. And so exactly what you need to do to take that next step in your game, through the summer and going into fall camp. Yeah, we want to see, momentum coming out of spring. We hope that everybody feels good. We hope that everybody comes out healthy. We hope that everybody has a better understanding of what we're trying to accomplish as a team. And if we're doing that, then going into summer, that's going to really guide us in what we're doing direction-wise as far as the lifting, the running, and what we want to get done.
I know you guys preach competition at each and every position, but how much does it help you having a year under your belt with all these guys and a little bit of knowledge of all these guys?
Yeah, well, last year, practice was trying to figure out, how they practice or how they're going to go out there and respond to situations. Now you've seen them, most of these guys in game situations, so how they're going to react and respond or what to expect. If they don't do that, you can coach them up differently. Guys that have played, your expectations are higher. Guys that haven't played, we're trying to figure out how they're going to fit in, and what they're going to be able to do. But just being around them, I think they understand us better. They're going from drill to drill. They're getting around. They know when the energy dips, that's not a good thing for us. That's got to get picked back up, or we're going to do it. We're going to find a way to get it done. So I think just everybody understanding, how we operate in practice has made it better.
You got anybody back or lost anybody through the first few weeks?
Nobody back right now. Hopefully get Jeremy back. I think if anybody has come back here this week. Really, if Jeremy comes back, that's really it. Nobody's been injured and out. Derek Bowles is back in the mix as well. That's really it.
What's that competition been like on the D line with so many guys?
Wow, hard to tell. Good, that group has been working extremely hard. Coach Caldwell's done a great job with those guys, and you've got a bunch of really good players at the D line. Tyler Horn's back, JT's back. So getting those guys in the mix, there's great competition there, but there's also that kind of 2-part rotation, whether it's the 3 or the 4 guys, they're getting their reps as they go, and they're trying to make it count. We'll probably know more after Saturday, when those guys get to cut it loose and we have a little bit more extended scrimmage. Let those groups kind of rotate in as the offense drives and kind of see how that works out a little bit. That'll give us a better idea of kind of how we want to manage that moving forward.
How's the nickel thing working out, having Mercy and Cam and those guys there?
So far, so good. Having Tanner back and Mike, those 2 guys are doing a good job. Mercy today had a good day, had a couple picks today. Cam's picking it up. He's a physical player. I think just the speed, and his knowledge of that is going to improve the more that he does it. But we haven't felt like we've had to move back in any direction of moving Tanner back there. We've kept them right where they're at, and I think it's been working well.
You guys, a number of times last year, praised the leadership of Jay, Grant, obviously Matt on offense. Who's been the guy that has kind of stepped up in that position or that role this year? Are you still looking for one?
Well, there's probably more than you think. You know, I wouldn't want to point out one guy. The guys that have played, you know, Dante, Darian, Marcus, our tight ends, you know, Troy Ware, Shane. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that have stepped up when it's been needed. You know, so that's the nice thing about having a team coming back and some veterans that played in games and been in some difficult games. And like I said, when things aren't going the right way, you know, some guy's going to voice their opinion and step up, and that's happened in practice. And that's better than it was last year. It's better than it was in fall. So we've gotten better from that standpoint. Now, that's really where it needs to carry over into summer. Because when the coaches aren't around in the summertime, that's really where that needs to happen, and that voice needs to be heard. They're doing a better job of it right now, so hopefully that continues.
How much of a luxury is it when you are going to have a new quarterback, new running back, that the offensive line is all back? And who else? I mean, are there some other guys there that even though all five are back, there could be some other guys pushing for spots there?
Yeah, Eli McCullough's in there. Kellen Burr's done a nice job. You know, Mason's done a nice job. All those guys, there's quite a few guys on the O-line right now. Andres Preciado, who's a young guy that stepped up. I mean, you're seeing Troy Bacon. They've all had their moments, you know, and we need more live reps and live tape to kind of make that decision. Having a linebacker that's played obviously helps the quarterback out. It's nice to have that. How it affects the run game is going to be better. So that doesn't hurt us at all. But, you know, the running back position, the quarterback position, just because the O-line's a veteran group, you know, those guys have to step up. And we still need those positions to rise. And you know, that's going to happen. It's just not happening right now, and that's not a negative thing. It's just that's the rotation. That's how we're operating. And hopefully Saturday, when those guys do get those opportunities, we see more of that, and the O-line's the lead dogs in that situation.
Don Hutt recently passed away. It's our first chance to talk with you since that happened, and I know that was a little bit before your time necessarily. But what do you remember about him?
You know, playing wise, not a lot. I mean, I know what he did record wise. I know the type of player he was. I've heard stories. But guys like that, I mean, you can take it to a team now. They make impacts, and that's what he did. And you know, that's obviously difficult for the guys that played with him. But you know, there's a guy that made an impact on this program. He's obviously remembered for what he did here and a lot of other things beyond football. But you know, our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends, and that's what we said. And once a Bronco, always a Bronco.
What do you want to get out of Saturday?
Physicality. You know, I think this week we really talked that. You know, this is going to be a physical week. Tomorrow will be a physical practice. Going into next week, you know, we'll kind of lead into that as well as being physical. That'll carry over into the spring game. But really kind of ramping up. You know, we do have guys that have played, so now it's kind of cut loose and go play the game more. And that's really what we want to see. You know, Saturday, it'll be more controlled. There'll be red zone. It'll be backed up. There'll be open field. There'll be some 2-minute that goes on in there. So it'll be a little bit more controlled, but go cut it loose and play. And I'd like to see more guys that have gotten more reps, and the young guys in particular, stop thinking so much and just go out there and just play. And hopefully that happens. And we'll see where we're at. If it's not, you know, we'll have to figure out, you know, how they're learning or what we're teaching. But I think that's going to happen. I think today's practice gave me confidence for tomorrow that's going to lead into Saturday. And I think guys are ready to go cut loose and just play.